Now we pray for a good stream. Good evening, everyone. Looks like our stream is working out just fine this evening. Welcome to another edition of Awaken the World. We are live right now. It is 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on this 26th day of May. Can't believe year's already half over. Look at that. I see Lori. Lori, I never get to see hi to you, so hi. You're the first one who showed up. Yay! Oh, Louisa, you're a close second today. Louisa's usually the first one on board. You know, she's right on the... But today, Lori Moore gets the prize. Way to go. So, I don't know if you can tell or not, but definitely had some more sun today. The weather's changing here for the next couple days. It's getting a lot cooler and rainier. So this morning, when we got our car back, I said to Kelly, "Come on, let's go. We're hitting the lake." And what a glorious trip it was. And the duck that has become so friendly and used to us comes right up to us now and devours most of the food we have. But I do have, just before we get started, I have this really cute little video. So I'm actually sitting in the kayak, and these little tiny quackers are literally, right alongside the kayak. And yeah, it's just beautiful. So here you go. You can watch this for a minute, and then we'll get straight to the video. So this is out at Garden Lake. And Gardam's a beautiful little lake. It's about 20 minutes or so from our house, so it's a very easy lake to get to. It's a rather small lake, but just a beautiful spot. And of course, this time of year, look at these little guys and gals. So there's Kelly's kayak, and they're right beside me. I'm sitting in that white kayak you saw right there. And there's a couple more videos I've done, and the little gaffers are just all over the place. It's just amazing. And when you allow yourself to connect with nature, when nature recognizes you again, when you've shed enough of that human skin to show your true self, nature looks at you with different eyes, and all the creatures in creation do as well. And Kelly will attest to that. She's seen it time and time again. And this is offered to all of us that, return to that Garden of Eden where, you could scritch the lion's head and not worry about him biting your hand off. But always be wary of the tiger's tail. Doom. So what are we going to talk about? Well, first of all, let's talk about love just for a minute. So allow me from the bottom of my heart, as a matter of fact, all of my heart, to express my love for each and every one of you. No matter what's happening, no matter where you're at, no matter what is occurring around you, believe it or not, everything's exactly the way it's supposed to be. And, I happen to have a low retrograde headache going on right now, a little bit of sunshine maybe, I'm not sure what the case is, but I don't push up against anything. I accept that experience gratefully. And no matter what, and that doesn't mean I can't take something for the headache sooner or later if I feel I need to. I mean, I'm going to go for some peppermint oil first, I think. But at the end of the day, what it means is you're not pushing up against what's already here. You're understanding that whatever's happening right now is actually a monument. It's a monument to past thoughts, past words, past deeds. It's very difficult to see through our window, but I replaced the railing on our deck. You can see that aluminum railing out there it has hemlock posts in between the levels of railing, and I did a lot of work for that. It's just stuff, ultimately, right? But at the end of the day, it's the product, the result, what's sitting there now took thought, word, and deed. In other words, I thought about replacing the railing. Kelly and I talked about it, and then I did it. The point being, everything that needed to occur for the railing to exist happened before now in our perception. So keep that in mind. No matter what's happening in your life right now, it is absolutely perfect. And it's already on the way out. Doesn't matter what it is. We live in this ever-changing pattern that we call life, and that's what life is all about. It's about change. And today we're going to talk about an aspect of life that I find a lot of people really confuse. And there's been a lot of stuff on social media that is simply so far off base. We really got to talk about this. So we're going to talk about vibration, because another word for life could be vibration. Everything in this physical universe is experiencing a vibratory state. Now, I know I'm going to get some flack for this, and I know why I'm going to get some flack for this, and you know what? I just don't care. So here's the deal. You have a vibratory state. And there is no ground state of being outside of the physical vibratory state. In other words, the molecules, the particles, well, let's stick with molecules, because once we get into particles, we're not so much talking about vibration as motion, extreme motion, incredibly high speed motion, flickering in and out of existence. But at the molecular level, we can certainly see a vibratory state at the physical level, but that's not the level of vibration we're really talking about when we reference our vibratory state. We're talking about our vibratory state as relates to our connectedness, our level of homeostasis, perhaps. Right? That inner tranquility, that inner peace, that inner steadiness. That's really what we're talking about here. So the first thing about this vibratory state, and you know, you are not going to like this one, but the number one, and there isn't very many things, to be perfectly honest, at all, that can do anything to shift your vibratory state. The number one thing that governs, and as a matter of fact is responsible for the vast majority of what you would experience as your vibration or your state of vibration or your vibratory state, is that egoic, and you know, I'm pointing here for reference, okay? That egoic mind. Now, a lot of people would say, well, you know, no. If someone who's in a foul mood or has a really bad vibration comes into my space, I know it, and if they stick around, that begins to affect my vibration. I got bad news for you. It doesn't affect your vibration. What's affecting your vibration is your egoic reaction to the other person and whatever's going on with them. And that's what's queering your peace within. Now, we could go a little further with this, okay? And I've talked about this before, about structurally, how structures themselves can hold vibratory states. And those vibratory states are the expression of thought energy. So, for example, if you go to Poland, if you go to Auschwitz, there's a number of places on the planet you could go to experience this. But if you go there and you walk into the gas chamber, you will feel a weight upon you. I've been there and done it. So much so that the normally boisterous holidayers who were there um, were somber and still. So you would say, well, Garhen, wait a minute, that affected your vibratory state. And in fact, it does have an impact on the vibratory state. But you have to understand the total amount of energetic expression that had to be expressed out, as in the people suffering and dying within those gas chambers and outside of them and around them, over and over and over again, until the place became literally saturated with it. You're not going to get that from one or two human beings. You can begin to feel it in very large groups. But overall, the number one thing that's going to affect your state of vibration, and again, by that we mean your state of calm, your state of peace, your state of acceptance and surrender to what is right now, the number one thing that gets in the way of that is your own mind, that egoic sense of self. And the reason it gets in the way, let's just look at a really simple example, okay? I don't know if you can see this on my hand. Well, actually, you can. It's quite large. Well, this started out as a callus from Kelly slaving me out for a while. And then the callus became too worked, and eventually I got, the skin came off, and the next thing I know, I have that. And every time I squeeze around the paddle, every time I grip a hammer or pound anything or do whatever, it aches and it pulls, and sometimes it's sharp. Now, I have two vibratory ways to go here, two vibratory directions. I can vibrationally turn left into the land of, oh, my hand hurts. Oh, poor me. There's nothing else I can do until it's healed. Why did this happen to me? Kelly sucks for making me do that. I mean, it doesn't matter. And you don't suck, honey. And it doesn't matter what. I could go down that negative vibrational trail, and I'm the one who's not going to feel good about it. Or I can take the right-hand turn, and I can look at this and say, you know what? Yeah, it's miserable, and yeah, it hurts, and yeah, it's bothering me, but you know what? I've got my hand. Look at the work I accomplished. Look at the things in that callus was worth the effort, and you know what? It's going to heal up and be gone. And in the meantime, my nerves still work. I can feel that. I'm alive. Which one vibrationally is going to make your day? And you may sit there and say, well, Garhen, that's really silly because, clearly it's not so much of a fun thing. It doesn't matter. Our opinion, our point of view is just that. It's an opinion. It's a point of view. And if your point of view is not serving you, in other words, if your point of view is messing up your vibrational state, you can't blame that on other people. I understand if you're surrounded by 100 crying, whining, really unconscious beings that you could say, I had to get out of there. It was really blowing my own vibrational state. I get that. But one person, two persons, three people, 5 people, 10 people? No. That's all about what's going on egoically. And to be honest, in those large crowds, it is a subconscious wave that we're having trouble dealing with vibrationally. But vibrationally, there's only one thing that truly works to change your vibrational state. And that is to shift from that left-leaning point of view to that right-leaning point of view. You walk that middle line in the yin and yang of life, in that complete circle. Everything contains both sides within it already, and you're simply making choices which side you want to look at. And if you really think your choices are any more meaningful than that, you can't be helped. And here's the kicker. It doesn't matter which side you ultimately choose, both sides are contained within the whole. So choose. Choose to rethink your point of view. Choose to want that sense of peace, that sense of happiness, that sense of joy and gratitude, and allow that to extend out. Just experiment with it. Allow it to extend out the things that would normally really piss you right off. Whether it's someone leaving the toilet seat up, or not putting their dishes where they belong, or not folding their clothes or putting them in the laundry basket, or it doesn't really matter what it is. Just go ahead and try. Just say, wait a minute. What if I'm grateful for the idiot who just rammed his car door into the side of my car? How does that change your response? How does that change your experience? How does that change your vibrational state? Now, we've dealt with number one, the mind. That egoic mind, that is the number one source of your vibrational discontinuity. Source number two, your proximity to and the amount of time that you spend engulfed, embraced by natural surroundings. You know, when Kelly and I first got together, there was about a 5-month period of time where I had no contact outside of being in the community. I wasn't out in the woods, and it came to the point where I was ready to snap. And I said, I'm heading to the hills. I'll be back later. I gotta go. There is an energy and a healing and a recharging of the battery of your being that occurs when you surrender to nature, when you go out and you observe, enjoy, be grateful for, and allow yourself to be part of her again. And when I say to go out in nature, I'm not talking about bringing your stereos and your phones and your town conversations that you have over the water cooler at lunch with your friends. I'm talking about bringing yourself in silence, bringing yourself in stillness, letting go of any concept of when you have to return to something else, but instead allowing yourself to be totally present in nature. To take your shoes and socks off and allow your feet to touch the ground again. Real ground. Not cement. Not anything other than that except the ground, soil, sand, grass, leaves, the forest, pine needles, whatever it is. This is the number 2 device that we have offered to us that can really do a number on our vibrational state. So even if we've made the mistake of allowing ourselves to fall into a state where we're feeling miserable, where we're feeling depressed, we're feeling stressed out, all of those things are symptoms of thinking that's not in alignment with the truth of your existence. And that's number 3. And it goes right back to number 1. Your egoic self, your sense of self, your point of view, your egoic opinion about life and everything in life is that number 1 controller of your vibrational state. In every situation, you're being offered the opportunity to choose a thought that's in alignment with the truth of who and what you are and why you're here. And you will know when your thoughts are queering your vibration. Why? Because you're going to feel like crap. Remember, feelings aren't something that happen by themselves. No one walks around and says, oh, I just had a feeling. It's not how feelings work. In order to have a feeling, you have to have thoughts about something. And your thoughts about that experience, about what's happening or what happened, because your mind does not know the difference, will generate a body response, a response in the physical intelligence of your being. An intelligence, by the way, that knows far more than you do about your own power and your own worthiness. It's true, and it also knows all about your connection to that whole. That's why when you think thoughts that are in alignment with the truth of your being, you feel empowered. You begin to feel good. You feel joy, you feel happy, you feel uplifted, upbeat. You feel humorous, impish, whatever the case may be. But when you allow your thoughts to turn away from the truth of who you are, to take you into the place where you view yourself as being small and insignificant and not worth it or not able to, those are all the lies that you've either been fed or bought into, and none of them are true. And that's why it sucks to think poorly about yourself or poorly about a situation. Really, they're just two sides. You're going to arbitrarily pick a side that's leading to a higher vibrational state or a positive vibrational state, or you're going to pick a side that's leading to a negative one. And the issue is you hand all your power away to everything else around you by saying it's not my responsibility or it's not my fault. It's your fault. Or it's the responsibility of the job that just let me go. Or it's the fault of the husband or wife who just cheated on me. Whatever the excuse is, there's no ownership. And when you're not willing to own it, when you're not willing to take it on as this belongs to me, when you take that back, you're taking all of your power back too. But as long as you're willing to put life on something else outside of yourself, you're powerless. And you begin to feel more and more powerless. And then you usually try to hand more and more to other people, hoping to get something back, hoping to feel that power again. And by now your vibrational state is down somewhere in the dirt. And you've brought yourself there. With great power comes great responsibility, and the responsibility is you're responsible for your own vibrational state. If you find yourself in a situation where your level of awareness, where your level of thinking is at a place where you can't think positively, where you can't change your point of view, where you can't move that dial into that positive, uplifting vibrational state, get out. Walk away. Let them know you're done with this experience and remove yourself from it. And when you have removed yourself from that situation, it's not about the other person. This is an opportunity for you. Every single thing that happens in all of creation to you is specifically tailored just for you. You live in a loving universe where that divine creator is focusing so many resources, so much talent, so much life, just so you can choose for yourself, just so you can see what you truly are, just so you can free yourself of the false concepts you've had. If you want to raise your vibrational state, give up anything that does not cause a welling up of joy and gratitude in your being. And, this covers the whole gamut, even physical pain. My back has been getting progressively worse and worse and worse. The surgery I needed 2 years ago hopefully will be happening this fall. I need double fusion back surgery. I don't stop. I'm too damn stubborn, too damn old, just don't care. But even going outside in the garden this afternoon and filling in some extra dirt around the flowers and building up my broccoli and tending to my other plants in the garden, my back started to sing. It aches in a heartbeat now, and that aching can get so bad that it will keep me up or wake me up. I'm okay with it. Why? Because I choose to be that powerful being. I choose to value my own vibrational state more than I value my own frickin' opinion. So I don't moan and groan about it. And if I do moan and groan, it's momentary. And then I'm back to just good old Garhen. Smiling and laughing at this body that's taken me through so much already. And being so grateful and so joyful that I can still walk when so many can't. That I can still go kayaking where so many can't. That for today, for this moment, I am here and I am breathing and my heart is beating and I am alive. Do I need anything else? No, I don't. And neither do you. If you can make this your ground state of being, the idea of your vibrational state falling off to the side, especially the idea that someone else could impact your vibrational state, will begin to disappear from your life. The greatest impactor on your vibrational state is the way you choose to view your experiences and interactions. This is the number one place to begin. That, coupled with spending time in nature, coupled with realizing that all of life, everything that you're experiencing, is custom made just for your journey here. All of it. How is that going to change your perceptions? Are you willing to allow your point of view to shift and not hold on to it anymore and choose a new point of view, a point of view that's empowering and uplifting and puts a smile on your face even in the midst of the perception of that suffering? The ability to chuckle even as I writhe on the bed sometimes when my back hurts and still be able to laugh at myself. Have this experience. Allow yourself to have the experience of life fully and understand that your choices aren't set in stone. You can re-choose at any time because you were born anew in every single moment and you are being offered that in every single moment to have a vibrational state clear of any negativity. And all you have to do is choose it above everything else in your life. Now, that doesn't mean pushing away situations or experiences because you feel your vibrational state is at risk. Those are the greatest teaching experiences for you. Those are there to help you understand what it means to keep that center of peace and yet allow another person to be who they're going to be. And then to choose instead of react to them. That's it. That's all I have today. The one more thing I want to say, I'm going to go off tangent a little bit here. We are coming to a crucial time. The modern world is getting back online. I'm not proud to say that out of all the vaccines on the planet, 75% of them are being held within 10 countries. We and you know, I'm personally not at a place where I'm ready to accept vaccination yet. There hasn't been enough time in my book. I'm going to be waiting a little bit, and that's my personal choice. But we need to speak up now. We need to talk to our leaders. We need to talk to our news media. We need to talk to our politicians, and we need to say, enough's enough. We are one people, one planet, and we must vaccinate the planet in equal measure. You know, one of the reasons why I'm not getting a vaccine is because somewhere over in Africa, there is a woman who's got 30 years on me who has people who are dependent upon her still who needs that vaccine more than I need it. So I'm going to encourage you to do that. You know, this is part of us not going back to an old normal. We are one planet, one people, and the logic of this is ridiculously simple. The more people that are allowed to be infected, the more opportunity we have for variants to emerge, because viruses reproduce through RNA, and RNA is a little bit wonky. It's not quite like DNA. RNA is prone to error. And if we get the wrong sort of variant coming out of a third world country because we're too greedy and we're not willing to simply give these vaccines, this should never be about money. This has got to be about the sanctity of life. And yes, people are going to die. And yes, those deaths, believe it or not, are perfect within this physical realm and are offering us choice, offering us an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to become more compassionate, more understanding, more life affirming, not being willing anymore to trade the dignity and sanctity of human life, of all life, for money. To not be willing to accept one person living homeless in a world where so many have so much excess. Not to stand against, but to stand for a brave new world, which we're being offered the opportunity. You know, I talked about 3 years ago now when I first started this channel up. I said humanity in the very near future is going to face, we're coming to a precipice. And I said 2 years ago that this third year here which was 2020, this is going into the fourth year. We've still got another year of trial for humanity before things begin to assume a little bit more of a steady state, let's say. And that's not going to last if we don't get our act together. The point is this grinding of a halt of all of our systems and all of the normalcy, the so-called normalcy of our lives, is giving us this opportunity to readdress what's truly important, to readdress what it means to be a global community, to give up on the concept of borders as being any more than lines on a map, to see through color and see the same heart beats within, the same blood flows, the same wishes for safety, for peace, for tranquility exist in every being on this planet. If you want to keep your vibration up, do something for another. Allow that love for all of humanity to overpower and pour from your being. I find myself able to take upon the suffering of others and to still feel gratitude for the experience of that as well. To be ever presently aware that there are so many who still need our help, so many who are reaching out and saying, please, I am just like you. I'll leave you with that thought for tonight. Again, namaste, all my love. Have a beautiful, I think it's Wednesday night, and we'll catch up again on Friday. Take care.